global phenomenon of this is that people will come from all over the world. A third of our clientele will come from the United States of America, but we do get a lot from France and from Spain. Roughly about sort of 5% each would come from Spain and from France. And we're very glad that you're here.
Okay.
Would have been worn by Rory McCann, who played the Hound. Big guy he was himself, and as you can see, it sits ready to see your face before you go into battle, and then you're in. So yeah, formidable piece of equipment this. An original piece which is lovely to have. As is the chainmail as well, which is fabulous to have as well. So that will just go on your neck. Take your helmet, put your helmet on. Yeah. As you can see, he's a much bigger guy than me, and my little face so it doesn't do it justice at all, but he was a big guy, and it works really, really well for big guys, okay? So when people come in here and they want to have a private activity, they will actually book a NED session, or a brand session. And within the NED session, they get personal archery expertise. They'll also get the chance to wear original costumes from the series. So these things are not something that I've just run up on a sewing machine at the weekend when I was bored. These things will all be labelled up as a proper Game of Thrones HBO costume. So you get the authenticity of wearing original costumes in here. So you will get 3 pieces. One, you've got your peshkot. Then you have your gambushan, which is this piece, which is what the Stark family wore. And then of course we give you a cloak. It is not a cape, that's Batman or Superman, isn't that right? Mm-hmm. These are cloaks, these are worn by the Starks. And when you're fully kitted up, we will give the opportunity to handle a Jon Snow Longclaw, Brienne's Oathkeeper, or Robb's King in the North. So you get the opportunity to be able to use those out in the archery range. And the archery range is the place where young Bran Stark was actually being shown how to use his skills by his older brother Robb and of course Jon Snow. And that particular place is one of the most popular places that we have here. We're the only immersive, interactive Game of Thrones aspect shows in the whole of Europe. So we're very, very proud that Game of Thrones actually started here at Winterfell. This is Old Castle Ward, and this is a National Trust property, Heritage and Historical Society, who look after buildings and domains that have gone into wreck and ruin and demise for whatever reason. But what has happened is that they have used us as the beginning of Game of Thrones. So we're very, very proud of that fact. It has brought an extra 20 to 30,000 extra people each year to come and do something with Game of Thrones. And if it's immersive and interactive, they get the opportunity to hear stories about what happened when the cast was here. They get to see videos on how Castle Ward was turned into Winterfell as the Stark family home. And of course then they get us as well. And if you are the worst archer, we will behead you because you're no good to us here. You can't hunt, you can't provide food for your family, and you certainly can't fight because they need to be off a particular standard. Isn't that right, Michael?
Right, I do agree.
Correct. Good answer, Squire. So at this moment in time, you're going out into the courtyard where these particular lines in Series 1, Episode 1 were actually taking place. So we are the Stark family, and the scene that you see here, not the 2 gentlemen in the stocks, although they will get their comeuppance, there's no doubt, before too long. The scene that you see here, basically is where the balcony would have been across here, where Ned and Catelyn, aka Sean Bean and Michelle Fairley, who were 2 wonderful characters themselves, and where Jon Snow and Robb Stark were taking young Bran to do his archery. So I'm going to take you to the archery range here and let you see the sort of thing that the guys were up to when they were here. This is what it was like during the set. The Game of Thrones, when the Night's Watch go knock, that's it, knocked. You're ready, you're loaded. Okay? So from there, we'll draw, hold, and loose. Fire your shot. Hopefully you should hit your target. Well, thankfully we're a friendly family here at Winterfell. We are the Starks after all. We may seem a bit sour at times because we're up north and a bit more cold than those rich people down in King's Landing, but we're a nice bunch of people, okay? Starks, there'll always be a Stark in Winterfell. Mark my words. Sometimes I'll put up the beating heart of the wild deer, and it's usually a balloon coloured red. We'll put the beating heart and say, okay, get your food for the evening, and you've got 4 seconds to hit that. Okay, once you get loaded, so it's your knock, draw, hold, boom, alright, and let it go. And it's always good. It's a competition for a lot of people, but what they find is that they all egg each other on, especially when you've got a big group. Last week we had 200 at a time, basically, of Americans who came from Edward Jones Financial Consultants, and they basically ate in the teepees, and we have 5 of those. We can seat up to 300 people, and we do a recreation of King Robert's banquet, so to speak. Okay, and within that, then we light fire pits inside, and we dress the tables with hessians, and with jugs of deadly wine. We have our own Winterfell beer here, winter ale brewed in the north. We also have food stuff that come in, which are taken from Song of Ice, our Feast of Ice and Fire, basically recipe book that George R. R. Martin actually has penned his name to. So it all becomes pretty authentic, but it also becomes a bit of fun. And so we get them out and let them do some archery. And at that particular stage, I remember I said, I'm going to behead the worst archer at the end of the day. And they're all, oh, yeah. And when we came out, this guy came out, and we got 2 cohorts on the other side, and they basically strong-armed him over to the execution block. And he said, well, I wasn't the worst archer, why are you taking me? I said, sir, you're wearing lime green shorts at Winterfell. Doesn't do it for me, off with his head. And it worked a treat. If you talk to some people I know who know me very well, and they just look at me and they go, oh, not again. All right, are you still dressed in that? I feel like sometimes I don't have anything else to wear. But if someone had told me a few years ago that I'd be dressing up like this, telling people about the biggest television series in the world, I would have told them Fruit Loops, Looney Tunes, lock them up, because no one knew this was going to be as big as it was. But it has turned out that way, and we're very grateful for it, because this has added, pardon the pun, another string to our bow. This has brought more and more people to Castle Ward, which is a tourism place anyway, but the extra people who have come here is just simply because of Game of Thrones. They want to see where it all began. They want to stand in the places where the actors stood, and they want to do some of the things that the actors did. We will all do some swordplay with them as well, which all has to be choreographed. It's a bit like dancing. So you just can't go out like we were kids and go, hey, you're dead. It's none of that sort of stuff, okay? All has to be choreographed proper. And that can add another dimension to it as well. So they really immerse themselves in it, which is fantastic, because that's what we want. We want them to come away with an experience, an immersive and interactive experience with memories. Those memories are there over and over and over again. So it's fabulous, and we're very, very grateful for it here in Winterfell. But this would be the sort of scene, you remember, where Jon Snow, so there's Robb were actually taking young Bran for the archery, and then of course Arya, she's in doing her sewing, and she doesn't want to be doing that sewing. Sansa's quite happy at the time, but Arya doesn't, and so they say, relax your bow arm, Bran, don't think too much, Bran, and basically then the shot comes out from Arya, she hits the centre of the target, and of course sibling rivalry ensues. And at the end, when they all laugh, Jon Snow goes to put the arrows back, and he just feels that presence looking down on him. There, from the balcony, is Lady Catelyn. And of course at this stage you don't know the full story. And he's there and he looks just at this stage and realises that is happening as he kisses the arrows back. Starks will always be a Stark in Winterfell. Mark my words.